You're everywhere I go. Whoa, go. Everywhere I go. Whoa, everywhere I go.
A local athletic trainer is taking philanthropy to new heights. Brian Dorfeld grew up in Davenport, and he's planning to travel to Colorado in September to run the Pikes Peak Marathon. That's 26.2 miles, grueling miles, we should mention, at elevation. Brian is joining us live via Zoom this afternoon. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We've got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the physical challenges that you're taking part in, we want to hear about why you're doing all of this. And your family has actually been touched by breast cancer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Well, about 5 years ago, my mom got breast cancer. And in those last 5 years, I was pretty deep in the bar industry. I ran a bar in East Village, and we always had a golf outing, and it was usually for the Trinity Health Foundation. We donated all the profits, and we donated to them. And after about 5 years, we did another fundraiser, and I found out more from Trinity about the 3D breast cancer screening and talking to my mom, and she really kind of let me know that this 3D breast cancer screening was basically kind of what saved her life, that if she didn't get this high-end resource of technology, that she might not be here today. So moving forward with my Pikes Peak training marathon and teaming up with Athletic Brewing, we kind of come together to create this training block for me, to raise money for them, for people that might not have the funds, because I know it's a pretty expensive screen, so not all insurances are covered. So my goal is, through this kind of grueling challenge, to hold some accountability on my shoulders and help anybody that needs this screening, because that's our main goal.
Yeah, really an amazing thing. You have the personal story that goes along with it, and it's really got to be even more motivating than just getting ready for this marathon, to have, you know, this extra thing that you're working toward. Yeah,
when it comes to something like a marathon, it's not really, it's a lot. It's kind of going into a place of discomfort that you really don't like to go, and just spending a lot of time on feet, kind of like where this challenge kind of comes into play. So having someone like Trinity and the 3D breast cancer screening and running for more of myself is what kind of keeps me lacing them up every morning and going out for long runs when I just really don't want to do that. So I know they're very appreciative of me, and I know I'm very appreciative of them, and I'm just going to do my best.
Absolutely. Okay, so how are you physically preparing yourself for this ultimate challenge? Of course, a marathon, not only a marathon here in the Midwest, but in the mountains.
So about a year and a half ago, like, we won't go down that road, like when I quit the bar industry and kind of quit drinking alcohol, I was like, all right, I want to get into like ultra running, blah, blah, blah. So I saw Pikes Peak Marathon, and in order to run Pikes Peak Marathon, in order to sign up or qualify, whatever you want to call it, you had to complete a marathon. So last fall, I did Indianapolis, and that I trained more first time. Mm-hmm. When it comes to a mountain race at high altitude, it's basically just a race within yourself. And the difficulty of being someone that lives here in the Midwest at sea level is I don't really get the altitude training. So, but we do live in a nice humid place that gets nice and hot and sticky during the summer. So that kind of will help weigh it out. And it's just spending a lot of time, high mileage, working the legs, working on breathing, threshold breathing, a lot of there's a lot of science behind it. We won't go down too much, but It's just a lot of time on feet.
Absolutely. Now, you recently completed something called the 4x4x48. Before we talk about that, I want everybody to take a quick listen to you explaining it, because you did a lot of social media. So let's take a listen.
My name is Brian Dorfeld. I'm going to be doing the David Goggins challenge, the 4x4x48. That is 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I'm doing this to raise money for the 3D breast cancer screening fund. About 31 minutes, 7:55 pace. We went across the new bridge. It was nice and smooth. 4 a.m., 4 miles. Done.
Wow.
Back at it at 8. Not gonna lie, that actually...
Brian, how long did it take you to recover from, I don't know if everybody got that, 2 full days of running 4 miles every 4 hours? What was recovery like?
Going into that, I was probably running 25, 30 miles a week with probably 2-3 good workouts a week. So physically, I wasn't nervous about it. But regardless, running 50 miles in a weekend, it's the sleep deprivation is kind of what exhausted me. So I did that Friday into Sunday, and then Monday I was fine. I ran Monday. I worked out Monday. The following Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I slept 33 hours.
Wow.
I was pretty exhausted. But yeah, it was just, again, that's just spending a lot of time on feet. It's like what most marathoners will say, it's the last 6 miles of that discomfort of when you just don't want to be there anymore. And basically every one of those 4-mile runs, that's basically the zone you're entering. It's just like, God, I just don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But that's the point. It's if it was easy, everyone would do it. And you have to go into that level of discomfort and that level of uncomfortable, which I've kind of gotten obsessed with. It's like I love to just keep pushing
there.
myself. And anytime I feel like there's going to be a possibility of failure, like stacking up accountability, like raising money for the breast cancer screening fund, is kind of what pushes that extra % of training. When the days, if I was just doing this for myself, there'd be plenty of training days I'm like, I'm just going to take the day off. But knowing that there's this thing is bigger than I am, and I'm doing it not just for myself, is what makes it all worth it at the end.
Well,
but yeah,
we're all super proud of you, Brian. Super proud of you. I don't think I've ever met anybody that really goes to the limit like Brian does. So if you want to help him out, and if you believe in the cause that he does, he's trying to raise $10,000 for Trinity's 3D breast cancer screenings that helps women all over our community. Here on the screen is how you can do that. You can text to that number right there, Brian 2022. And of course, we want to encourage everybody to follow Brian, not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram. Brian, thanks for talking with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.